That's great. Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, it's Bazanji. 919. Check it. I said this.
Drink it. Huh? Blows you up.
Blows me up.
What do you mean? Bloated in the belly?
I ate a fucking lasagna from the old people's home.
Stole the food from the old
Free
people.
food, man.
Free food, man.
I'm all down.
Cool. Perfect.
So, how was your week?
Fucking shit.
Yeah, well, same here. Let's change it up.
Yeah.
So,
Are you sure we're starting with mine?
yeah, we're starting with wine. Or not?
No, we're starting with mine. Are we starting with Attia? I don't know. Let's
Just it.
let's try it out. I went to Angolo Vinoso today before I went here because I wanted to try out that wine store already. Before we start, do you think it's an idea that you put the microphone on? Or
No.
where's my team? Where's my team who does it for me? I went to Angolo Vinoso today to the. Do you know his name?
Bruno.
Bruno. And
Bruno.
I drove by the store. I told you that before. I drove by the store a couple of times already, and I always thought like I have to go in. And he really has some cool shit. He also has Brandsäck. Have you ever drink Brandsäck?
No.
Brandsäck is
Austrian.
fucking. No. It's Italy. It's either Südtirol.
Yeah.
I think it's Austria / Italy border or something like that.
Mountain wine.
Yeah. And I drank it really a long time ago, and I still remembered it. And I went in and was like, "Hey, do you have Brandsäck as well?" And then he was really happy, and he said, "Yeah, cool, da da da." And he has some really cool, interesting shit. He also has this crazy guy. What's it called? Angelo. There's this bottle, with a really long bottle with the white label. It looks like a kid's painting. Angelo. It's almost similar, like yeah. I don't have my phone. Angelo Viola.
Alessandro Viola.
Yeah.
But I sell that as well.
I did not. Wijnvriend has it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know.
I got a bottle of rosé in the...
Small ones, big ones? What do you want?
Small. I think I have a bottle of rosé in the fridge, actually.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he has it as well.
Yeah, it's good, but now Henk and Bruno poured it together.
Cool.
So it's... but he makes some lines, but I thought this year was maybe with the white, it needs a bit more time, but he has a really cool new cuvée, Rosso Easy, which with Henk is Alessandro Viola.
The guy. Okay, cheers, man.
And it's like a 10-euro bottle, but it's fucking nice. I think, but that's horeca price. 12-euro bottle.
12 euro. Is it strange? The wine itself?
Well, it's super countable. And the rosé, for me, I think this year was a bit fluffy.
Okay.
I also tried a rosé from, I think it was Il Cheo from Vigo, which was a bit more precise. But overall, the whites are really good on Viola.
Yeah.
Really good Grillo.
Cool.
And we're getting next week the high-end cuvées, Sinfonia de Grillo, and some Sinfonia de Rosso, which are in the small little, like the medicine bottles.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
good.
he had them as well. They're almost the, what is it called? Varjon from Jura. Kind of look, the pharmacy bottles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But honestly, really good winemaker. Very predictable, but very straight and honest. It's very commercially, it's a good wine as well. It kind of sells really well. Yeah. So, but you were there.
Yeah, I was there, and I think I only know one label. It was fucking
but
crazy.
He's got some obscure fucking wine.
And I walked through, and he has like 2 rooms. It looks like it was an apartment or something.
Yeah, man, but he's got another fucking bedroom behind it, and
it's a weird location.
And he's got 2 cellars. I helped him set up 1 cellar.
Okay.
I helped him for 1 day. He still has my sanding machine, by the way, Bruno. I should come by and pick it up.
If you watch this.
If you watch this, probably not.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for my sanding machine. Yeah, but it's a cool place.
Shop looks cool.
I agree.
Really some shit. I think that he loves nothing really fancy or mainstream. He also has some Austrian stuff. I saw some Harita, of course, Gudokka.
Yeah, but I think he buys that with Vigo. So he's got some wine from other imports as well, which I appreciate.
Yeah, But I was looking through it, really cool stuff. I'm definitely going there again. And I just told him what I like and what I love and what I like to drink. And I told him I like to drink Loire, Jura, I like to drink fresh mineralic wines. It doesn't have to be orange. I love orange wine, but today I'm not into an orange mood. I want to have something with low alcohol, can be funky, can be strange. I need some stuff to talk about. And then he gave me this, and this is from the Etna. Have you ever drank wines from the Etna?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, is directly.
Is Etna, right?
Yeah, but not everything.
No.
But the wines there are some wineries which have wines on the Etna which are per phylloxera wines. So that means there are, I don't know the English word for it, but regularly you have like a wine stock, and then you have a wine stock under it, and they are like combined with each other. How do I call it?
Yeah, when they're crafted.
Yeah.
Crafted.
But the wine lies, if that is even the word, they're not coming on the altitude of the Etna, because the air is too shit. So they have pure pre-phylloxera resistible blah 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 wines. But this is not one of them. The wines are 40 to 70 years old, and it's 100% Chasselas. Do you know Chasselas?
Yeah, but it's a fucking weird surprise for
Why?
it.
I don't know.
Etna.
I don't know.
Well, I never.
Yeah, Chasselas. And I was like, cool. I didn't drink Chasselas in 15 years, so.
I never heard it. Was made from this?
Over
Cool.
there. You tried it already?
Yeah, it's straight. It's clean. It's pretty refreshing, though. Huh? What's the alcohol percentage?
10.
10.
Boom.
Pooh. It's got some bitter, which I kind of like deep in there. You know what I mean? That structure.
Here.
Yeah, it's kind of tannic some way, but it's really dry. It's really pleasant. It's really good. It's almost like a not fruity muscadet or something, like Big Pool. Really weird. It's very
You think this is similar
fresh?
like Big Bull?
No, I'm just bullshitting. But it's got, I don't know. In a way, it's got this really fresh mineralic tone that I really enjoy.
It's extremely gluey, huh?
It's got stick as well, right, in the back of your tongue. But maybe it should. I'm gonna throw it in a big glass. Maybe it should breathe a bit. So yeah, but the shop is fucking nice. He's got some insane.
I would not say it's fucking nice. It's a cool shop to go in. It's not nice. I would not give it an award for design and architecture.
No,
it's just he moves in boxes, but it's fucking cool. It's super authentic.
Yeah, exactly. But in the beginning, he was going to get all these shelves, but they were too broken to put wine on, so just put it on boxes. But he's just a genuinely fucking nice guy. He's. Do
you know what I love?
He's got a tasting room next to it, and he lets people use it, and he's just very helpful.
What I really like about the store is he is not giving you the show bottle. I like that.
Yeah.
You go in and it's like, hey, can I have this wine? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he really grabs it from the box out, and he doesn't give you the bottle which is standing there.
He's got a huge cellar under there. The whole fucking thing is a cellar underneath. So that was for him the thing, you know, only renting a shop for this money on that location is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But he's got a private tasting room. He's got an extra bedroom which he can rent out or use for winemakers.
Is he living there?
No, he's not living there. No, he lives with his wife or girlfriend, I think 100 meters away.
Yeah.
But he also had his wines always in the big storage over there at Hendrix, where a lot of importers keep their wine, where you pay quite a lot of money for this.
Okay.
So he's got all his wine with him now, so he's saving pretty much what he paid at Hendrix to rent with the shop.
Yeah.
Only thing is, every fucking box of wine has to go down manually by stairs.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's what I was down there for half of a day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Bruno, man. But he put a lot of elbow grease in it. He did everything by himself for 3 months, combining it with the wine import. Really, hats off to the guy, and I always really appreciate his authenticness with the wine as well. He's not doing anything which has commercial idea written on it. Everything he does for the love of the wine. And
do you know what his clients are? Is he doing Horeca or is he doing end clients?
Yeah, he's doing quite some Horeca, and he actually worked for a while in the 101 Gowrie.
Oh, really?
When we were having dinner there.
22nd of December, I still remember that night.
He was there. He was doing the wine.
Echt? That was him. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, that
Why
was him.
can I not remember the night
You know,
anymore?
with the Australian wine.
Yeah.
He also imports that.
Cool.
Yeah, so he does some horeca. I think he used to do horeca before he started importing, but he's not doing it for the money at all, which I think he's a really admirable dude. Honestly.
Cool,
Good
nice,
guy.
yeah.
And the wine, I'd say it's good. It's good. But maybe needs to loosen up a bit, or it's just pretty what it is. It's very low alcohol, it's very mineralic. It's probably actually just what you asked him. But
What I love is exactly what I asked about. A low alcohol wine,
yeah,
super mineralic, really fresh. It
it's
is
exactly,
really fresh.
It's
exactly what I asked for.
what you asked, yeah.
It's completely mineralic. It's really fresh. It's gluey in the nose. It's also gluey here a little bit, like
Which
really when you
vintage is it? Is it 19 or 18?
16.
Jesus, really?
I think so. Yeah. It's.
I'm curious what this will taste like when it's new.
I have no idea.
It's a
17.
17.
Yeah. Lot M16 and
But
17.
I did do the glass in under 2 minutes, so that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, and maybe it's a maybe
But
it's.
this is fucking bizarre. You read what's on the side of the bottle?
I have to check if we even record.
No.
Nah, but I'll check it now than in an hour. Yeah.
Okay, this is a fucking weird thing. Okay, so what we are drinking, my friend, is an American bottle.
Tyrell.
It's imported by Tyrrell Wines in San Francisco. It's got an American government warning on it. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. It's a fucking... How the fuck does that happen? You know they have to label bottles differently when they go to the US.
So he's buying them. They import it to America, and then he bought them.
Oh.
Maybe it's a batch which came back to the winery.
Or it's or they said they'd buy it but they didn't, or something like this. But
don't know.
it's pretty fucking weird. I've never seen that before. In alcohol.
Really, I like it. I love it. It's good. It's good stuff.
I think it's gonna. But I think we should decanting wouldn't be a bad idea with this, maybe.
Things. Yeah, true. Do you have a decanter?
Because no, I'm not that fucking posh. Because already the nose is opening up pretty fucking nice in the bigger glass. That's the most gay way to do it.
Yeah, don't have a care of what is gay now.
Yeah, man, just lick your thumb. You just like that. Yeah, and shake it. Yeah, that's enough. Don't kill it. And then. It's always a good party trick. So now we got beer.
Yeah. Cool. A strange wine to start with because it's really something to talk about, but
yeah, but it's not a posh flying wine that just screams details and flavors from the top. It's a pretty intelligent wine.
Take a big sip, Omar. Goes good down the throat.
Yeah, I think it's opening up pretty well now. Ooh, the fruit is coming.
Mm-hmm. I think this
Bit
is
of
good
melon.
I think this is good for wine pairings.
Oh,
When you have
dude,
I don't know,
we should
strange.
have opened this an hour ago.
Yeah, leave it. Let's drink it later.
Because I think
Fuck it.
really, there's like melon and apricot coming up now, and all this shit. It's pretty interesting actually.
Cool.
Because its acidity is really clinching on my tongue.
Let's experiment around a little bit with it.
Yeah, as you can tell, our glasses are a little bit the wine is a bit on the cold side too. But no, interesting wine, and I think
So the next one.
with him we tasted a bunch of Spanish wines at Henk's place with him and Dax Sylvain a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's a really good taster too. He's
Yeah, really?
he's fucking.
What
good.
is his background?
Yeah, I think it's restaurants, but he's been doing wine for as long as I've been in the natural wines. He's been around.
Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. And no, but remember when he came over at Partizan
Yeah.
also, he was never pushing, and he's just
Asking for feedback, have conversations about the wines.
But also when you don't buy the wine, fuck it, it's fine, you know. People buy my wine, people don't buy it.
Really Italian.
Yeah, but I think it's just a good soul.
Yeah.
So, but for you, for Italy, some Sicilian wines. You got any favorites?
Don't have to. That doesn't have to be. Yeah, I mean.
I'm just asking. It's an honest question.
Yeah, of course. What
podcast.
I'm a big fan of in Sicilia is Occhipinti, the wines.
Yeah.
Not the woman.
Not the bitch.
Not the bitch. We should do a. Yeah, sorry.
The only woman that made us wait for 40 fucking minutes before we could taste her wine.
Look, I think Ariano Kipinti is a nice lady. She does really good wine. There was one incident which we had at Ladif where she let us wait for like 15 minutes until she even talked to us and we were really eager about the wine, which I also understand.
But there was when there's 15 people, hell yeah. Like when there's one guy which you're just chatting to, while there's people standing and obviously waiting for you. What the fuck are you doing there then?
I think she was a little bit tired already, and then there's the next one. But this is what you're doing at the fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you come in at 9 o'clock in the restaurant and the ogre's a fucking dick and he says, yeah man, but I already served 100 people, so fuck you.
I agree. Yeah. But the wines are good. I like them. So when you ask me about, really, I don't have big knowledge about wine. No, Italy. But if you ask me about Sicilia, I really like Occhipinti style, especially Frappato. I also like the whites. I also like everything is good from Occhipinti. Yeah. I really like wines from Etna. When I worked at Wine & Co. years ago, always fell in love with Etna. I like the style, I like the heat in it. At the same time, I like the minerality. I don't know if it has something to do with the altitude, but this is, if you really think about Etna, it's just a fucking hot environment. At the same time, it's such high altitude. And just imagine, you drink something now from Sicily, it's like 40 degrees in fucking July, and at the same time it's 10% alcohol.
This is exactly what I would say.
It's
like
so
to me,
weird.
The better natural winemakers on Etna and in Sicily as general, the drinkability of the wines is a crazy thought if you look at where it's from. Yeah. You know, you'd expect like fucking deep, insane wines. Yeah. And the style is usually pretty light. And I don't know if that's classic and traditional, which I could understand, because if it's fucking 45 degrees all summer, who the fuck is waiting for 15 degree punchback? Yeah. So I don't know actually if that's traditional or because like the Frappato, the Nero Capitano we had in the first episode as well, it just breathes the drinkability. Second one. Yeah. And of course, Cornelis is a good example, even though some of the Suzukarus, I don't know if it's 17 or 18, are just too deep and too heavy. But also the wines from Il Cheo. And
let's talk about. So we have a little bit of a topic that because it's really interesting. Let's talk about heat and let's talk about hot environments, and at the same time about natural winemaking there or in general winemaking.
Wine with the water.
I always got I got a lot of feedback from the guys from Riberach and Tom Lübe from Matasse, what they're doing in Roussillon, where they say like, you have to imagine it's like fucking hot as fuck there in summer. So this is why all the wines are really low. So they almost work in bush wines or something, because there's also fucking wind going and it's just a fucking terrible environment to make wines in. So if you think about the Roussillon, have you ever been in the Roussillon? Yeah. You have like the Atlantic, and when you go a couple of kilometers in, you already have a mountain where you have snow on it. So there's a shitload of layers in. So I think doing wines on mountains in hot environments is a fucking interesting thing. But what we learn from natural wine or from biological winemaking is the longer you wait with wines, with grapes in the vineyard, the more problems you can get if you wait a day too long or something, and then you have too much sugar in it or you get too much alcohol in it. So they pick them earlier. So they also have to be careful with the acidity and the pH. How's it called? With the pH amounts. That's also something where you really need to take care of. And especially when you think about when we think about now of Etna or we think about Roussillon, also when you think about Matasse, they make wines where it's 40 fucking degrees in July and August, and at the same time they make wines with like 12% alcohol.
Yeah, because if you compare it to like Provence and Southern Rhône, where I was living for half a year, where in the canicule last year, 45 degrees for weeks on fucking end, and then in the Rhône I can tell, you know, if you drink wines even from a guy like Nicolas Renaud and Pfifferling, which also get that huge heat, but they also struggle with their alcohol percentages, even if they make lighter style wines. You know, Pfifferling has been years on end. It's not going very low, but that has to do a lot with the altitude, because in the Southern Rhône you're maybe 100 meters up, not even, I think. And it's just Yeah, from 100 to 400 is a big fucking huge difference at night. It's the classic thing you learn in wine school, you know, the higher, the lower it gets. But probably the way they work the grapes is interesting, because I would say when you have a low bush vine, it keeps the heat also. It probably protects, but you get less wind, so there's less movement of air. You know?
Less stress.
Yeah, I've been under vines, you know, when I was harvesting, and it's fucking hot under these things. Of course, you got the shade, so you probably used a lot of leaves.
But you also get the heat from the floor.
Yeah, but there's a big. That's a thing I found always interesting. I don't know that much about wine to say what's the answer, but like when you have a lot of leaves, of course, you create also a very great environment for mildew and things like this, because when it rains, yeah, the vapor and everything gets caught in the bush, and it goes nowhere. That's why you want wind and not too much. That's why they have the exposed fruit in all the fucking shitty vineyards. But then you also have the risk of burning. This is a fucking dance, man. It's pretty fucking hard if you want to play a straight game. But I haven't been in Roussillon in my late years to really understand it. I hope to go in July to see Mataburo. Maybe we can see there a bit how he does it, but I don't think he's that high up as Tom is. But it's an interesting thing.
It's an interesting thing to because when you really go back in the years, or when everyone is starting with wine, you always hear like, oh, it's a hot summer, it's a good year for wine. But yeah I think it's bullshit. But to really talk about those when you visit vineyards, or beginners with wines when they visit vineyards, and there's like, oh man, it's really fucking hot there in July and August, we have so much sun. It's not always a good thing.
You want to pour it over?
No, we drink in this, right? Do you want to have the YVES Peron in the big one?
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's no problem. It's interesting to talk about not only climates, but really about hot environments and hot regions. Yeah. I put the silent mode on because when I get a notification or something, I'm not sure if the video is stopping. So just to be sure.
How's the setting?
Hope it's good. Hope it's good. Flight notes.
Life in a bottle. Life in a bottle. That's something else, my friend.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's always really nice to talk about.
Get into. I really want to read more about this shit too, or talk to winemakers.
Yeah, it's what I found out
every
right now.
Every hill, every city, every fucking parcel is a different game. That's the fun about wine.
What I find out right now is that I love to drink wine again. I had like a year or 2 years of break, and now I finally fall in love with it again, and try to use it a little bit more in my life, also with food. But now I completely forget about all these old basic things what I learned from the beginning.
Yeah,
also
I don't know if that's a bad thing.
That's true. Maybe we consume wine differently now.
Yeah, but I think it's a different world. You know, we're more interested into these micro environments, concerning winemakers, concerning parcels, concerning style. Even the conditions in the cellar make wine different for the wines we're drinking right now, which is, I think, to me, the whole appeal to this thing. It says something about such a small microclimate, which is interesting to taste. It's like going to a restaurant. Yeah, you can eat a steak with pepper sauce. It can also be different everywhere, but it's kind of the same. But if every small restaurant you go to that has its own style and idea, it's the reason why I kind of like these things. So, next wine.
Do you think, before we start with the wine, do you think that from all the different winemaking styles and different winemaking scenes what we have right now, like we have, of course, like I always talk about it, we have Bordeaux Burgundy, we have Champagne, we have natural wine, we have biological wine, we have winemakers who believe in absolute biological because of authenticism, which don't believe in natural wine because there are too many failures in it. Do you think we always had those many different kind of winemaking styles, but now we just document them because of social media and because of phones and shit?
No, I think they've always been there, but I think they got lost during the way, also in the 60s and 70s.
Why?
So, because commerce got a very big hand, so...
Money.
Yeah, but the whole appellation thing and all the predicaat stuff, it's all made to make wine understandable. So they were dealing with all these wines, and every winemaker made a different thing, so you could never know what to buy, so you can build a big brand. So what they started doing is putting rules in place to qualify certain wines, so you could count on what you were buying. But this comes from a time where nobody knew anything. So we're saying Bordeaux always is like this, and Languedoc wine is like this, and Bourgogne is like this. It made sense for people to start understanding what the fuck they were buying and drinking. But in the time and age we live in, there is no reason to obey these rules, because everything is at the click of a telephone in your bed or while you're taking a shit. You can read everything about a certain wine or cuvée or winemaker and even a vintage.
Yeah.
So there lies a big change. But I think the most interesting is the overlaps, because you have people in Burgundy working this kind of style, but they still keep their appellations in place. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think that is changing. But there's always been, the winemakers doing different things, and it's mostly been the quality winemakers that have kept that up, that have made always this way to differentiate their wine from others, and this was always a quality issue. And I think less a style thing. So I think now we're talking, the winemakers are also developing more their own style. It's the same again with restaurants. People used to be or a 8 cafe or a restaurant or a high-end restaurant, and you know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
Now you can walk into an average 8 cafe and eat better than in 10 Michelin star restaurants in the country.
Was that not always also so in the 60s?
No, I don't think so, especially not in Holland, maybe in
Good
France or Paris, but I think in Holland, if you go to 8 cafe, you knew there would be satay and a steak. And if you go to a Michelin dinner restaurant, you know there'd be asparagus and lamb and all this shit, and you'd sit for 7 hours. And I think style is taking the overhand.
And I think now you also see that those two things try to meet each other. Like what you said, you go into 8 cafe and they say like, hey, I'm gonna do what we did in Partisan, we do a fucking nice Wartenswang with blah, and a cool nice glass of wine with it, and you can enjoy it. And at the same time, when you really look at the Michelin star restaurants, they go away from fiddly or da-da-da. They go more into, we go crazy and we go back down to earth. And then you sit in a Michelin star restaurant, you have all of a sudden just one piece of meat, which is really good, without a sauce or anything. Yeah. I had this as Mratzenson 2 years ago. You still didn't went there, right? You still didn't went to Vienna.
No.
We still have to do a weekend in Vienna. I was at
for
Mratzenson.
my birthday.
For your birthday. When is your birthday?
Next week.
Fuck you, echt?
Yeah, really.
I knew that.
Yeah, sure. I tried to forget.
And there was just a stone plate, and on the stone plate there was like one piece of meat. Yeah. Nothing, there wasn't even salt on it, and you just eat the meat. So also the high-end restaurants, and Mratzenson is not a perfect example for it, because Mratzenson always went somewhere else. But they also want to meet
Mratzenson?
Yeah, MRZ, it's a name.
Yeah, Mraz.
And Son, Mratzenson. It was my first job.
Yeah, okay, but
this is actually where I learned.
Most of the Dutch people wouldn't understand who's a Mratzenson.
Yeah, but our public is international.
Yeah,
Mr. Worldwide.
It's only your friends watching.
Exactly. My mom. Hi, Mom. What I also see is when you go into high-end restaurants or where you just pay a shitload of money for food, is that they also go more into simple things, and that actually when you go into 8 cafes and simple things, that they actually do more than they did 40 years ago.
Yeah, it depends, but I think, there's always this world of creating more choice, Where 20 years ago you had 4 types of BMW and now there's like 50. Food-wise, there's much more depth in choice than ever before, and wine as well. But I think when you really know something of your own, what your taste is, and you kind of get into this, there is really definitely a style that you prefer. but I would say that we just like quality stuff. But I think the variation is going in another direction that it maybe went 40, 50 years ago with wine. But I think there's always been this great divide.
Yeah.
But we learned this simple divide when we were 15, 16, and we find it simple and a bit stupid, but considering the 40s, the 30s, even the 50s, people had no fucking idea, Saint-Emilion, oh yeah, that's always like this, that's what I like.
Sure.
And now it's different world, man.
Yeah.
So honestly, going to a wine shop now with Vivino, people go into the restaurant and they be like Vivinoing everything. They don't. But so they don't need to know that much, And the people working the wine in general, I think, know even more.
I hate the fucking app. I don't hate the people who are using it, because if I
I appreciate it.
Me too. Because if I use something which is not wine, where it's, for example, I don't know, Apple products, I also use forums of experts who are talking about it. Hey, those are the pros and the cons. I also don't know it. I'm just the end client. I don't know anything about this stuff. So I understand the people who are using Vivino.
There are fucking...
Should we do the next one?
Yeah, there's a fucking 100,000 movies on YouTube about glassware. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, next wine. So, yeah.
Jean Yves Peron. I know it's a hard thing for you. Like a heart.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the bottle yet.
Okay.
I don't even know what fucking tasting time it is. You've used the tasting app?
The moon thing?
Yeah,
last time it was a drink.
It was a slurp day.
Today I also am in a good drinking mood. I have to say, first bottle was fine.
But we gotta say, this is a different setting. It's a Friday night we're at 10 past 10.
It's always Sunday at 10.
It's always a Monday morning. Oh, sorry,
Sunday at 10. You also, in the last podcast, you also said, in the last podcast, you also said, there's not a lot of time between the last episode.
So this time there is. No, so me.
Jean Yves Peron is a huge vineyard, right? They have a shitload of hectares.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Less than a hectare, right?
No, I think he's got 2.5 or something. But I just told you. I was there, 2-3 years ago?
Okay, so Jean Yves Peron.
Cotillon de Dame, 2017, which is 100% Jacquere, grape indigenous to the Savoie. I don't even know what it's related to, but it's a pretty mineralic grape. Usually,
where's the Savoie? Sorry, where's the Savoie?
So I'll do it for
East,
viewers. So
Swiss.
This is France, kind of. You have Geneva, and it's about an hour south.
Okay.
It's close to Lac d'Annecy.
Yeah.
Very beautiful lake.
I know. I was
where
there.
you can have fucking insane views of the water and swim and take boat rides.
The first restaurant
where the restaurant Kamouraska is, which did the chef table which is probably the best cave à vin in the whole fucking area over there.
And last time, I'm gonna interrupt you, but there's also the first restaurant which got 20 of 20 points at the Gomillon, which is Mac Ferrand, Restaurant Mac Ferrand. In Annecy, on Lac d'Annecy.
Oh, I went there.
Mac Ferrand is the guy with the hat.
Yeah,
Marcus Marat
from I didn't went there actually.
Marat & Son took me when I was like
It's in the
18.
mountains though, right?
Yeah.
It's
he said like, what are you doing in the summer? And I was like, I have nothing to do. And he was like, do you want to drive with me to Mac Ferrand? And we drove there with the car. And we had food it was one of the best
But didn't he do the
tours I ever had.
He sued Michelin, huh?
There was a big story going on with Mac Ferrand.
Yeah, they took him from 3 to 2.
Yeah.
Because there was something that they said the cheese wasn't from the region or something or some bullshit, and then he now sued Michelin.
Yeah, but in the Savoie there was Mac Ferrand Annecy, Lac d'Annecy, directly on the sea.
Maybe I went there though.
I went there and Marcus Matz actually took me under his wing and he was like, we're gonna drive there, we're gonna eat there. And we drove, on the way we drove to Turin, to Rivoli, and had food at Gombal Zero. Pretty cool, check it out. Then we drove to Mac Ferrand. And Mac Ferrand,
put it in the thingy. He's gonna put it
comment section.
He's gonna put it here.
In Arjan's favorite place, the comment section.
I like the subtitle thing when it pops up.
Yeah. Thanks. And we went there and we had dinner there and it was of course really cool. But after we left, I think I still searched for Mac Ferrand, and I think a year later his daughter had a skiing accident.
Oh Jesus.
And I think she got really heavily injured when not even she died. I'm not sure. But there was a big story about Marc Ferrar going on. He didn't did any big bullshit, and then the Michelin came up, and then it actually started to plumb a little bit.
Because he's got this place in the mountains which is absolutely stunning.
This was on the sea. This was not at the mountains.
No, he's got I think I went there for lunch with Eric, but he's got like a bistro thing to it. I think we had lunch by the bar.
Okay.
Super nice, but he's got that thing in the mountains. Got the 3 stars.
Okay.
So, but it's close to there. You were right.
Okay.
Jean Yves Peron. You know, when we started Partizan, I started working with Ine Goossens. We've discussed. She's watching, and because I met them once in Ladif, everybody told me she's got the most sick fucking wines ever. She's got some. She's practically got 70% of her stuff is legendary stuff.
Ine Goossens.
Yeah.
You introduced me to her at Partizan.
Yeah, and so she did a big wine tasting in Partizan. Yeah, that was when you came. The wines were just so good, so different, so pure. She's a master fucking taster. And the tastings with her, when she does it with Ries, everybody can say anything they want, but these are the best, most structured fucking tastings I've ever seen.
Salto
10
glasses.
restaurant people, Salto glasses, all the wine is pre-tasted. It is poured 50 wines in under 2 hours.
Without stress.
Without stress. Ries pours, Ine talks. You understand every wine you're tasting. Every wine is on perfect temperature. It's just fucking high-end tasting.
This was the moment for me where I flipped the switch at Partizan, because until then we were like, I was a little bit too on the secure side, and then you said like, there is a tasting with Ine Goossens, let's go there. No, I didn't even know her, and I didn't know the story, and I was sitting there, and there were like 15 people there, and there was the guys from Gluglu there, Bar Centraal there, Rutger was there, Bak was there, everyone was there. And I was sitting there, and then we drank the wines, and then we washed some plates because it was at Partizan. We were at the dishwasher, and then I looked at you. Yeah, we ate some bread, and then I looked at you. I was like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah,
and then you said, "Like I told you, man."
Yeah.
And then we went back, and then we started really.
And we did. Of course, a lot of her wines are pretty expensive, so for Partizan it was not always accessible. We did a lot of Edel Natuur from another. One of my favorite. I got one bottle of Quevry downstairs, but I promised it to someone else. And so I ordered always with Ine. Ine introduced me to these people on the sea, and I told her, "Oh, come close to there in the mountains." She said, "Oh, you should go see Jean Yves Peron." Well, not a lot of wine importers do this for you. But Ine does this for everyone. She sets up wine visits for everyone, and this how she is. And I went there. This guy, he's just building his new cave. It's on a big fucking steep slope. I think it was in the town that did the Winter Olympics in '82 or something like this. And the guys built this whole feng shui thing in the mountain, and I come there and he's making his poiré, which is unbelievable and unbelievably rare.
Poiré is apple.
Yeah, and then this guy is steaming.
Sorry. Poiré is apple, pear.
No, pear cider, which he also makes. I don't even know if he's got pear trees there, but the guy. And then the one guy is steaming the entire fucking 250 square meter cave, and there's only one press in the middle. So I was like, okay, this guy is pretty fucking serious on his shit.
Cool.
It wasn't really finished, and the guy is not the most accessible dude. He comes over a bit autistic, or some people think he's an ass. But I came there. He let us wait for 40 minutes because. 40 something. He let us wait for 40 minutes just because he wanted to finish job properly. He gave us a glass from the press of the pear juice, and he said, okay, wait outside, I finish cleaning, and then we go. So I was really like, Eric, sorry, we have to wait. But it's okay, so we walk around a little bit. And then he gave us a fucking huge tour, let us taste every barrel. Took his time. I sat with him on the fucking hillside for half an hour just talking about life and whatever. Really, really gentle guy. Not really hospitable, didn't ask us for dinner or whatever, but took his time, and every barrel was crazy. He just bought some grapes from Italy as well. So I was like, yeah, okay, but everything, man, it's so clear, so pure. He's really like a crazy professor with the little glasses.
Can I put the bottle on the Cruijff book?
Yeah, sure. And also when you go to La Dive, this guy, he's got like 18 bottles out. He's got his own like light setting up over the bottles. All the bottles really nicely lit. He's got 2 guys pouring, and he's behind just checking who's really interesting and making chats. And hey, you can come, and then he does it himself. Cool. It's like the most it's got 2 barrels, not 1. He's got a shelf over it, lights, and it's just poing, like tasting with Ine. So we came there, everything is lit. We sold a shitload of, no, we didn't sell a shitload, we drank a shitload of Jean Yves Peron in the restaurant. We didn't sell it that often because it was too expensive.
Wait a second, you were at Jean Yves Peron and then you went to a restaurant? Or?
No, the restaurant we worked in.
Oh yeah.
We drank too much.
Okay.
But this is, 100% Jacquere, which if you drink it otherwise, it's like this really clear mountain wine, but it's usually, there's not a lot of dudes doing any maceration there. Without maceration, people really like it, but I have never really found a Jacquere that's not from Peron that really interested me. You know, people will boo me for this, but...
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, it's a bit sticky, mineralic, a bit simple. But it's an intelligent grape. You really need to look into it. You know, maybe I'm not a well enough taster or something for it. But this stuff, forever, always fucking got my grip. So this is 17. I don't know if it maybe lost a bit of fruit, but the smell is just so fucking good. But we're drinking 2 pretty straight wines though. Pretty mineralic, pretty on the knife.
Like a knife.
Yeah.
Really like a knife, like an Asian blade.
But if you think about it, it's got 6 months of maceration, but it's not interfering with the integrity of the juice whatsoever. Huh? It's just the slightest hint of structure that really puts it together for me. It grips the fruit a bit, it grips the acidity a bit. Man, this shit you want to eat with as well, huh?
But I also would take a bread with butter for this wine, really.
Yeah, but that's the bitter that gives it the quality to put something next to it. Really fucking nice.
Did you drink any other Jacquere from Jean Yves Peron?
No. Probably.
No,
maybe,
sorry. Did you drink any other Jacquere not from Jean Yves Peron? Do you know the
Feu.
grape? I have never drank Jacquere not from Peron. I don't know. I have no idea about the grape.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's like they will say, it's like a mountain stream. So it's always very clear, clean. Mineralic is not the word for it.
It's like a fresh river in the forest.
Yeah.
Like a spring.
Yeah, but that's got some like alkalinic, they call it alkaline kind of attitude to it, like
Alkaline,
a rock. Yeah. So it really carries that. It's super high, so it's super. There's not a lot of, like we just discussed. It's cold in the night. I think like shit. But it's hard to grow there because his slopes are literally like fucking this. You can barely
like this.
Like this. You can barely walk there. He's doing everything by hand. He doesn't have that little cool railway thingy they have a lot in the Mosel, you know.
I was sitting in one of those. I feared my life. I did that at Matthias Kneber.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! We were at Proben in Düsseldorf.
If you're drunk, man.
No, I was sober, but you know, you're on the Mosel, and
there's a highway down the road downhill.
I don't know, but the river in Germany, and there was a slope up, and I was like, how do you work in
the river in Germany?
And there's the river, and there were the wines or the vineyard. And then they really had like this pipe, and they put a bucket in, and I was sitting in the bucket, and he just put on the machine, and you're sitting in the fucking bucket, which is like from the 50s. And you're like, and I was like, Jesus, if there's one chain now missing, I'm gonna fall down, I'm gonna lose my life, and I'm gonna be in the jump off. Fucker. If one chain really goes off, woof, you're down with 200 kilometers and you're sitting in the fucking river.
Yep.
I think it's the Mosel. But it's interesting.
The Mosel, I think, usually. But so that's why he has to buy. He doesn't have a lot of stuff. He can sell, I think, 50 times more than he has. So that's why he's buying a little bit in Italy now. If the people are patient, maybe they can see the B-roll where I'm going to grab a bottle of the red.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it actually a bit today. But for me, this winemaker, it was also like really changing my attitude. But the problem is starting with this as my first Jacquere, it kind of maybe ruined me. For the other ones, I think really for me, I'm talking with Henk a little bit. We do some Bugey, which is between Bourgogne and Jura, which Henk always thinks it's the same as Savoie, but Chardonnay-wise, maybe it can be the same as Jura, but I think this really, for me, from Savoie, it's super good. But the problem is it's pretty expensive. We got a new Savoie producer now as well. And it's clean, but it's fucking expensive. And it's well
one last
made.
thing, what would you like? We talk about the wines right now, but how would you if people want to drink that, what are they looking for? And what do the people
drink this?
when the people are going into they're coming now to the Wijnvriend and they say like what are they looking for that you give them this wine?
No, but nobody. Okay, this wine is a different story. But nobody goes, I think, into a shop and asks for a Jacquere. I got one guy asking me this, and this is Ollie, who is a fucking sommelier, and he asked me if I had some Savoie and if it was good. But I think.
What am I looking for if you give me this wine?
Yeah, an iconic winemaker. Honestly,
okay.
I think
I want to have some legendary stuff.
For me, this is 100% the guy that makes the wine.
Okay.
100%. The style, the things, he's been doing it for at least 10, 15 years. I don't know exactly, but the wines I've seen is at least 10, 15 years ago. This is just a guy with a vision. He's like a professor, man. He's doing next level thinking about his wines. And when he said I'm buying wines from Italy and I'm driving them myself in my car, I'm like, at night, I'm like, dude, why would you do that? It's just not you. But then even if you taste these wines, again, you taste his exact way of doing it. And I thought I remembered, but I think I'm wrong. But I like the stories, I'm gonna say it. I thought that when we were there, he said he does every wine, every grape, he treats the same. But anybody, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think when we were there, but my French isn't that good, he said everything I do is always whole bunch, always 6-week maceration. But maybe I'm fucking wrong and he does some longer or shorter macerations as well.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that he said everything is whole bunch, everything is the same in maceration, so I get the most expression from the grape in the wine. And then he uses his pure fucking clean ways of working, and that creates a style which I never heard really before any winemaker saying, man, I got my idea about how to make good wine and I buy or make grapes in a way so I can make it like this, I harvest so I can do it like this, I buy them so I can do it like this, and that gives me my wines as how I like them.
I have actually two stories which I want to share when I think about Jean Yves Peron. I think people who buy this wine, or when people are thinking like, hey, when should I drink Jean Yves Peron, is if you want to have really solid, high quality, legendary stuff, intellectual stuff, legendary stuff, where if you drink it, if someone just pours it to you without any backstory, you drink it and it's like, oh, this is good wine, and then you drink the second and third glass and you're like, wait a second, what is this shit? And what the story about Jean Yves Peron, what I hear from you right now, or what I hear from you for the last couple of years already about the wine, is really similar to Patrick Meyer, Julien Meyer in Alsace, in Noordhalten. It's also when you drink Patrick Meyer, it's really good stuff, but if you meet the guy and how he explains you what he thinks about wine and why he does it, and Moritz already explained me Patrick Meyer as the Ursuppe, the ground soup of everything. When you talk with Patrick Meyer, he's not like, hey, I make this wine and I make Riesling and Silvaner and da-da-da. He always explains you really like, who are you and where do you come from and how can I share my knowledge as best as possible for you and in which level of wine are you? I'm really interested.
But he's also very talkative about it.
Yeah, Patrick Meyer. Yeah. But what you tell me now about Jean Yves Peron,
he's the same. Only when I was there. Whenever else I meet him, and everyone I speak to about him, they don't share this experience. So that's why I feel it was so special to meet him. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I think 8 months later or something, I was at La Dive, and he recognized me and he took me behind the stand to taste with him. Also pretty sharp for a guy that's done a lot of good
Hundreds of
winemakers
people
in
and-
fucking Ladiv.
Yeah.
I said hey, and he said hey man, come here and come on, do a quick taste with me.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah, it's definitely intelligent wine. I feel it's more modest than I remember it actually. Don't you have it? I feel when we tasted last time, which is like 2 years ago, so I don't know if it was 16 or 17 or maybe. It felt more expressive, more fruity, maybe.
I think this bottle is singing as hell.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
I'm completely blown away by
We're
it.
drinking two wines that are really they're less bold than what we had last time.
Yeah.
So there's more. I think it reflects a little bit in the way we're talking as well.
Yeah.
It's asking a bit more from us.
Yeah.
We have to
It's
think.
really-
We have to. We are. You're actually frowning
Yeah.
because we are thinking. Not of what to say, but we're thinking about the wine constantly as we're tasting it,
Yeah.
which is
It keeps us busy as fuck.
yeah. So that's honestly that's a good topic because there are these wines that especially when you start drinking wine or natural wine or when you first meet a region, you're like, wow, this juice, and then you drink it the second time and the third, and you get a bit bored, and then you find someone that's just a little bit more sophisticated. That's what I really find always also in Tom Lubbe, a guy that always seems to surprise me with the fun in the bottle, but also there's always this little intelligent snack to every wine he makes. You're looking for how he did it, what he did. It's not just enjoyable wine. It's enjoyable and it's funny. You can drink it fucked up in the park. But when you really start and sit for it, every bottle's got a story. Every wine's got a...
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
You're
I
true.
think this wine, it's almost a little bit too intelligent for us.
It's really intellectual.
Yeah.
It's really intellectual.
But how interesting is that in wine, man? That it can make you think like this. It's like reading a book. You're like, wow, what happened here and how did it evolve into this?
And you go all into kind of deep conversations about why is it what it is and why does it do to me the shit what it does to me. But there was a second thing I want to tell you. One was Patrick Meyer. And the
Also,
second
that
thing was
should be
something else.
that should be the focus also when you have a restaurant.
What do you mean?
I like food
You have
where
to go
I
in
have.
front, otherwise you're not in the
I
camera.
like when the food does the same to me. When the food makes me think as well.
Why do they do what they do, and why is it
Why
so
is
good,
it
and why
so-
keeps it me so busy?
Yeah. Why is it so recognizable as food? Why is it recognizable as good? But why am I grasping for this little thing inside that? And I think that differentiates an insanely good winemaker. Where there's, I think it just reflects the thought that goes into making the wines. Somebody that's got a deep passion for it. And
There are so many wines where they talk and talk and talk and it's like, this is how I do it, and then you drink it and it's like, yeah, it is really good. And then you have a second glass and it's like, yeah, it's a good wine, but actually you're with your thought already somewhere else. And then you have winemakers like this, or you have bottles like this where you drink and it wants your whole body in the glass, and you're like thinking like, what is happening? Why? And you also have to do what you just said with food, where you think like, why is the food like it is right now, and why does it keeps my brain so fucking busy?
But it's the best fucking compliment when you go
Absolutely.
and sit down in a restaurant, you eat 6 courses, and at the end you're like, what movie did I just watch?
Yeah.
And your body is
Did I
okay.
act it in it,
Your
or did
body
I-
is
did I watch
actually
it?
maybe
Yeah.
the same as when you came in, which I
Yeah.
also think is a good compliment. You don't want to fart or burp or sleep. But that's what when I really have a great meal, I'm like at the end like, Jesus, can I watch it again?
Yeah.
And
And you can't.
no,
You can't. And then you go back and it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it can. If they're really good, it can. But usually the magic goes off after a little. But it's like with this wine, if you probably drink it again next week, it wouldn't do what it does now. But it puts us to think. For me, it's a pretty fucking special, interesting bottle.
How much do I pay for this?
Yeah, I don't even want to know, but it's not going to be cheap.
40 euros.
Yeah, I think 30 something.
Okay.
Depending, I think it's also funny. I think with Ine and Ries, they also you know, they price pretty steep, but they discount pretty generously as well. So I got a box of 12 bottles. And it's starting to go now. Huh? Yeah, we're gonna come back to that now. But they discount really well, and they made a nice box where some wines are maybe less interesting, but they put some real gems in, but also some. I think it was a nice box. You buy, you know, I told them I'd probably, if I'd asked for like Kenjiro Kagami and all this stuff, they would probably give it to me, one bottle. But Ries called me and I told him, man, okay, I like maceration. I really want the Queffry from Bombard because this stuff just made me cry.
What are you talking about right now? You bought a box from Ine and this was
Yeah, you asked me about the price, so I just made a little comment about it. And then I said I at least want something from Jean Yves Peron because when I was there, I tasted the red, so I'm going to grab it from the cellar in a bit. So they put in this, the red Italian from Peron. They put in the Queffry from Bombard, 2 more Bombard, and some really fucking good Grange de l'Oncle Chance.
So you called Ine and said, make me a box.
Well, I did that 2 months ago. I didn't reply for a month or so, sorry Ine. And then he called me and then he said, yeah, what do you like? And then he made me a box.
Whatever I can give as an advice for someone who is into natural wine, or wants to find out more about it, if you find a wine importer where you feel comfortable with, call them and say like, I like this, I'm at this level, can you make me a box? And they really make you a box with the best belief what they have. And I did the same at Wine Scandal the whole time where people just said like, what shall I buy? And I was like, let's just try it out. And then I made them a box of like 6 or 12 bottles. And I was just like, look, this is where I started with. I gave them a Jean Yves Peron, for example, where it's like, this is really special. And just
exactly. But you put
play around with it.
You put 2 bottles in that are commercially interesting to you and affordable to them. You put a couple of gems in.
It's so cool.
Yeah, but now we're making, we're trying to set up a little package thing on our website as well.
At the Wijnvriend.
Yeah, so it's like a starter kit, a little bit more sophisticated, and then like a pearl kind of thing where you really get only gems, but it's like cheap.
Should we do that with Bar Arnold as well?
Yeah, we can make a Bar Arnold box.
Like an episode box. Like
an
episode
pretty good
1 to 5.
Yeah, man, let's get fucking commercial, make some money.
Nah, it's not about money, but I have a lot of people which are asking now when they watch the podcast, like the hundreds of people who watch the podcast.
The thousands.
They just ask
Hi,
like,
Mom.
Yeah, exactly. My mom is like, yeah, okay, I cannot just transfer you money anymore, so I'm just gonna buy some wine. No, that they just ask like, where can I get more information about the wine?
She's sponsoring all the wines. Thank you, Mama, Pascal. We really like this bottle. Hope you enjoy your retirement. We're so fucked up.
That we just say like, hey, from the first 5 episodes, those were the best 6 bottles.
Yeah, sure. Would be nice. Good idea. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, we could
just
some.
For the same price, like
we
buy them,
and we can do it through the through my import. We can Hank's import. We can put it on the website there, and people can order there. No, because
if that's possible, you can. But you can also say like, hey, we buy it for the same price what we would buy it at the shop.
Yeah, but do you want to keep 60 bottles in your house?
If I sell 10 boxes of via Bar Arnold, I'm more than happy. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap the 10 boxes here. What the fuck, man? Then mom orders 10 boxes. No, and then we just put the transport costs on it. And we just say like, try it. I don't want to make money with it.
Most of it is here.
I make money with the advertising here.
Most of it is here. Yeah. Most of it is here, though. We'll just bring it ourselves together. Yeah. No, but
good bottle of wine.
Super interesting bottle.
And you also see like, it's you want to guide conversations a little bit, or you want to have a podcast in a direction, but actually the wines are dictating the direction. If you look right now at episode 4 where we had Beaujolais, and you look at the podcast,
completely fucking cloudy.
Linda, listen to me. If you have the podcast today, it's a completely different thing. It's like deep state conspiracy bullshit going on. Also, the light is really weird, and it's really like. And you talk about why does the bottle keeps me so busy and da da da. And it's weird. So I hope that every podcast is going to be different.
Last time was a party with a pizza, and now we're sitting here discussing life.
Smoking a chain of cigarettes.
Yeah, because we need it. No, but it's, that's the whole fucking thing about wine, man. And that's also why we like drinking wine together, because we kind of reflect the same on wines, at least on an emotional and personal level. Is that still the first wine?
Yeah.
The fucking what the fuck happened? How?
Yeah, but he said there's a lot of sediment in the bottom.
Okay, but you shaked it.
Yeah,
and this was before the
Jesus,
shaking.
Yeah, you're right. It
Jesus,
goes really fast.
Fucking look. Okay, I'm really interested how this is gonna.
Try both. Play around a little bit with it.
Well. Wow, man. We should have shaken this. We should have decanted it. Really, why?
It's good.
But when you came in, it was shaken.
It's all good.
No, but
I did my backpack and I was on the bike. It was shaking already.
That's.
Sorry, I had it in my Bentley when I drove here.
Yeah, Bentley. Yeah. This fucking thing is really turning for the well.
Is it gonna be because you just say? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse?
It's getting much better.
What is happening?
I think it's maybe even. I don't want to swear in the church, but it's kind of ruling over.
Echt?
At least
Cheating me.
No, that's more intellectual wine, but this is kind of super enjoyable now. I think this. A little bit, the matter gives it a bit more.
You want to try the other one now?
No. The matter gives it which other wine?
Yeah. Do you want to go? Are we going back to the first one? I want to try the same one with you now.
Yeah.
First one now.
Yeah.
Check.
The matter, which makes it cloudy, actually carries the fruit a little bit through. I think this is really.
The glue
Did he tell you to decant it?
No.
Well, you should.
The glue is gone.
Yeah.
The smell is completely different. It smells like concrete, fresh concrete. Yeah, sorry, I have this. I don't have the cloudy shit. It's fresh concrete.
There's fruit.
Yeah, it's similar. It's a similar. The smell completely changed. It went from gluey, unsecure cheesiness, and now it's completely concrete.
It's actually now
purple.
It lost a lot of its energy peaks. It's much more leveled. Fucking, I like this wine.
It's way more stable.
Mm-hmm. Try some with the
Shall I
concrete.
shake it again or not?
Yeah, why not? I just do it like this. Just you know what they do? You ever read a bottle in English when it says upend before opening? I always thought it said upend.
What?
If you buy like a bottle of apple juice in England, it says upend, UPEND before opening.
Upend. Yeah.
Yeah, so it means like upended, which I've never seen on a bottle in Holland. So I was asking an English friend of mine, like, what the fuck is this thing on the bottle? Upend before opening.
And why is it written with a P and not a B?
It says upend.
Not upend.
I was like, but on this bottle,
British. I'm British.
British. But this bottle should say upend before opening because it's
upend. Because it should fuck you in your ass.
It should be upended or decanted. Interesting bottle though. Huh? It's good to come back to wines a bit though. Now I'm drinking a lot of wines at home. I do this a lot, and I try to open bottles, drink them, and then the day after get another glass to see what happens. Some wines, man, they just blow your mind in a day, especially with natural wine.
Why do you do this? Why is it interesting for you?
Because also the wines I'm selling, I want to know what happens when they're open in a restaurant or in a bar. Point one. But after doing that for 10 times, I did it at first to see if they would get mouse.
Yeah.
To see if they get mousy. But now I also just do it out of interest because it opens up so much, you know. I remember when I started doing these wines, that Vigo would say that some wines he would open a day before. They finish service and then he'd open bottles.
This is where I always had troubles with. In the beginning, I didn't, but especially when we worked
Sorry
at
for
party
chain smoking, by the way.
No, I smoke in a second as well.
Didn't we do it with one wine as well? That we'd opened it always before?
I had the problem at Partisan that in the beginning I was always like, oh, natural wine, they really keep long because they're used to oxygen. But then at Partisan we really had a trouble with usability in Horeca with the ice bucket and out and pouring and back.
Ice is so bad, man.
And no, I think really the temperature thing is horrible for a wine because you just, like right now, we have the bottle here and the wines are really stable and we shake them shortly and we drink them and they're really developing. But in a restaurant, you don't, even when you're a sommelier, you don't really have the patience for it to really taste it every 10 minutes like what we're doing right now because there are like 100 people sitting here which wants to have our attention.
Especially when it's in a pairing.
Yeah, and what I had at Partisan is we had a shitload of wines which got mousy and then I was always like, fuck man, I never had this, I missed the knowledge of that natural wine get so mousy. But when I think about right now, it's like the wines are developing so fast that you really have to be careful with temperature and what you're actually doing. Because if I take this bottle now and I put it in ice and back, of course it's gonna tell me to fuck myself in an hour. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was on a wine for 7, 8, 9 months. Then I got pressed. Then I was in a barrel for 2 years. Then I was put in a bottle. And the first thing you do, you
transport.
Transport. Then you open it and you pour it and put it back and pour it and put it back and pour it and put it back. And even though in the restaurant you're not shaking it, but actually you do. The whole time you do this.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, but it also it puts oxygen in, and if there's live yeast, it'll do something to the wine. You know, you remember when we did Rifo. I mean, you'd open the
ice
bottle.
Cold.
It's like
ice cold.
no, but we put it in the proper cooler. But it was like in the beginning, the first glass is like white.
The Rifo was in the freezer, and when you had the first glass, it was in the freezer.
And this one, no, but I mean in the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we'd pour a bottle of Agmanine, and then the first glass, it's almost clear, and at the end, it's so oxidized that it's almost brown.
Yeah.
I remember Rutger from Bar Cult, you know, Van Pol telling me once that he kept a bottle of Rifo for like 2 weeks, and at the end it was like the brownest piss you can ever imagine pissing out on a Sunday morning. But it was still good, and I think, you know, that is super interesting to see in wines.
Yeah.
When they live like this, it makes for interesting stories.
But this is what I want to like to have, that the people are doing a little bit more, that they think behind the product. I want to have that with everything actually, especially with food. When they say like I'm buying biological and at the same time I'm drive the car to the park to walk my dog, but I want to have biological things.
That's me.
And the people,
I have a dog, but
the people need to think a little bit behind the product. Like wine is not always singing. Wine is not always good. Sometimes you're in a bad mood. Sometimes the wine is in a bad mood. It's just what it is, and this makes wine so special. And then you have evenings like this where you open a bottle. And then you open it, and it keeps your brain so busy that you really have conversations like this. And you need a pendant to it, like what we have right now. Like, thankfully, I have you, because if I would drink this alone, I would be like, "Fuck,
what's happening? Yeah.
What's happening?" And do I understand something wrong? But if you can exchange
but
that,
it's also funny that we have 2 bottles that do this. We both brought a bottle,
and the bottle I bought from Angiolo Vinoso is competing with Jean Yves Peron.
Pretty well,
and this is fucking bananas.
But it's doing pretty well now on the second taste.
Yeah.
On the first taste, I would say definitely.
Do you know how much I paid for this bottle?
What you paid?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Guess.
In the shop?
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of his more affordable wines, so I would say everywhere between 15 and 20.
15 euros.
Yeah, that's super
Easy.
Good, including
Easy.
VAT, yeah.
VAT and consumer price.
Yeah.
He doesn't know me.
No,
he was just like.
So this is a Horeca 11 euro bottle.
Yeah.
It's
so you can drink this in a restaurant with a high bullshit for 29.
No, 40, under 40. But that's still for this bottle.
No, if you put a wine like this on a wine menu, you double it, not triple it.
Yeah, it depends. But at least let's say 35.
Ah, you had panache. Yeah, of course.
No, but fuck you. No, but anywhere between 35 and 40 for this bottle with this alcohol percentage from this region, made in this fashion. it's an interesting fucking sell. It's gonna be. It's easier to sell 24 of this than 3 of those. So yeah, for me actually, hard call. But I'd say your wine and the overall picture is definitely making the mark better than mine. Where I say, you know, my heart and my connection definitely goes out to Jean Yves Peron and his wine. You know how it's made. It's probably definitely more decent than the other one is, but this is a fucking stable wine. There's pretty much, I'd be interested to keep a little bit of this to see if it turns mousy. But
let's do that.
A fucking good wine, to be honest.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So, cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
Do we want to do a B-roll with red?
A B-roll with red, like cut it and make a next one.
Make a little bonus. Do we do a little outro on this thing?
Arjan, I'm sorry. This is an evening where I'm completely in a wine mood. I'm really in a good mood right now.
Me too.
I want to go on.
But honestly, this for me, this whole episode is gonna be maybe for people the most boring, or it's gonna be the most interesting one.
Do you know what's for me? It's the best one so far.
Yeah, I think so. For me.
Do you know how many cuts I need so far?
1.
No.
When you want back.
No, I also don't. Really, this is
how long
pure conversation about the thing. I have no idea. I don't even know when we started. I don't even know when we started. I need to take a piss though.
Yeah, I'll go grab downstairs. Yeah.
Be careful with your microphone. That went horribly wrong. Jesus Christ. Alright guys, episode number... What is it?
5, 6.
Episode number 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's Bazanji. 919. Check it, I said this industry is dog eat dog, and y'all sleeping. All these Mickey D's rappers around me that I've been eating, cause I